We looked at a couple of other countries first, Costa Rica and Panama. We decided that Mexico was a better choice for us, and it has been. I love the medical care here. My experience, our first trip to Lakeside was in 2007, and I wound up in the hospital, in a hospital in Guadalajara. They saved my life. I had a life-threatening condition in the United States for years that was never diagnosed. And our first trip in 2007, when I was admitted to the hospital, within 24 hours of being admitted, I was diagnosed with a very rare condition. And the doctors here told me, "Oh my gosh, and you're still alive?" I'm amazed. When we went back to the United States, I had doctors in the US tell me the same thing once they found out my history. It's like, wow, and you're still alive? I love the medical care here. It's at a lesser cost. The doctors have a heart. They're here for you. When the when the surgeon who diagnosed me was doing a procedure that he knew that I was very concerned about, he said, "Don't worry, I'll be with you the entire time. If there's any negative reactions, I'll know right away and I'll be able to stop the procedure." He sat there with me for over an hour and we just talked about life. It was awesome. It was awesome. After doing some research, looking at Costa Rica, looking at Panama, and we came very close to Panama, moving there. But Jan has a family member who purchased property in Lakeside a very long time ago, 1978. And he invited us to come down and help him manage his property here, and we said yes. As it turns out, this was the best choice for us. Having the Guadalajara airport so close means that we have family members and friends come visit. We have the big city of Guadalajara if we want to go to the big city, and it's wonderful because the food scene, the museums, everything in Guadalajara, there's a lot going for it. However, I don't want to live in the big city. So being able to come back to Lakeside is wonderful. And we love, Chipola itself. It's wonderful. And some people like Chipola better, some people like Ajijic better, some people like in between better. I really like Ajijic and Chipola both for different reasons. Ajijic, I'll say the negative for a lot of people is the cobblestone streets. They're more difficult to walk on. I've fallen down more than once. I haven't gotten broken too badly, but it is difficult to navigate for some people. The nighttime scene is not so much in Ajijic, so there's a younger vibe here in Chipola. There's younger people, there's more family, almost like a working man's town. Both towns is just lots and lots of art, writers, crafts. It actually, I really appreciate both towns. Chipola is easier to navigate. The streets are flatter. but they are both beautiful towns, in my opinion. And they both have beautiful Malecons. They're easy to take a stroll. Yesterday we were on the Ahihi Malecon, strolling with one of our dogs, and it's beautiful. I love it. We were a little bit familiar with the area because we made our first visit here in 2007, just to see it. We didn't have retirement on our minds when we were here in 2007. However, there was a warm fuzzy spot in my heart because they saved my life here back in 2007. When I wound up in the hospital here. So it was an easy yes once we decided it was time to retire in 2016. Doing your residency, going to the consulate in the U.S. or the Mexican consulate in the U.S. and coming down here, it was pretty straightforward for us when we did it in 2016. At the time, we were living on the Oregon coast. We just drove up to the Portland Mexican consulate, easy peasy, and we came down on a temporal visa because we wanted to drive our truck here, and we filled it up. There wasn't any room left when we came down, and we did the long drive from Portland to Ahihi, or to the lakeside area. And once we got down here, we did a large remodel on a property in Ahihi where we're living. There's a lot of differences in building construction, and we were not familiar with living in a subtropical climate and the buildings are different. So there was a big learning curve, and there were a lot of surprises during construction that you don't know when you're doing a remodel. When you find out that, oh, that's not going to work. We need to change this, change that. So it was a very big project, and we learned a lot. Day to day, this is a vibrant community. There's a lot going on. There's noises. There's just a lot going on. There's families. There's noises. There's celebrations. There's cohetes. You know, if you want a quiet life by the beach, reading your book with no noise, don't come here because you'll be disappointed. There are people that do complain about the cohetes, the kabooms, the fireworks and stuff. But it's all part of the culture. It's all part of the life here. So whether you're walking along the Malecon or you're shopping in the Mercado or the Tianguis, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of visual stuff to see. There's a lot of noises. I love it. I really do. My favorite restaurants so far, and I have not been to every single one, Leche for seafood. Wonderful seafood, beautiful view. You're right next to the water. Chatterleys, of course. They're safe for me to eat. I am celiac, and it has to be gluten-free. I get sick with cross-contamination, and they're a very safe and delicious, creative restaurant. And for places, the Malecon is a wonderful, wonderful place to just go strolling, people watching on the weekends when there's lots of tapatíos here for the weekend. It's wonderful to see families having such a good time together, being away for the weekend. The Mercado, in the whole El Central area, there's very fun shopping. I'm not somebody who is drawn to some place like Walmart. I don't want to go into the big everything store. I would much rather go to, this is where I get my vegetables, this is where I get my meats, that sort of thing. Chipola is huge. I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. Anything and everything that you can imagine, whether you want to buy a t-shirt or your fresh produce of the day, everything is there. You want to buy tourist stuff, no problem, but that is where a lot of people do their regular weekly shopping. And it's very fun. It's a great place to bring your visitors. Everybody's friendly. The fresh produce here is amazing. I lost nearly 30 pounds when we first moved here, not by dieting or anything, but just eating fresh produce, harvested when it is supposed to. It's not harvested a couple weeks early for the export market. It tastes better, it's fresher. It's amazing what the variety of produce is here and things that you don't recognize. How do I eat that? And once you find out how wonderful it is, you expand your dietary intake of all these wonderful fresh foods. Cost of living can be anywhere from up here to down here. If you are somebody who wants to go out for every night for dinner, it will cost you more. And if you have to have a bottle or two of wine each evening with your meal, then that's going to cost you more. But because the cost in general of food is less, you can live at a much lower cost than in the United States. And that's what we have found. We can eat healthier, eat better, higher quality food for less money. There's a lot of difference in rents. If you must have a spot high up where you have a view of the lake, and you've got to have 4 bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms, it will cost you more than a 1-bedroom apartment. I would certainly suggest that anybody considering coming down to please, please, please rent first. Do not buy. I've known a number of people who have come down, purchased a home immediately, only to find out that they love the home, but they like another town better. And what a hassle that is. The home isn't what they thought it would be, and homes are different here. This is not the United States, so it depends on what your needs and wants are. So it really is best to rent first to find out what areas you like best around Lakeside. There's a lot of different neighborhoods, and they all have a different flavor, a different feel. You know, and you need to find that out first. Do you want to be within walking distance of the Tiangi and the Mercado? Or you don't care? No, I want a view. I want to live higher up in the mountains. Well, you're going to need a car, but maybe you're somebody who just wants to be a pedestrian, or the buses are easy here. There's lots of drivers, private drivers, who will take you to places that are affordable. You know, to hire a taxi doesn't cost an arm and a leg like it would in the United States. So you have to be down here, you have to be living here for a little bit before you can determine what your needs and wants are. Hotel Via QQ is in Chipola. It's half a block off the Malecon. This is a historic property originally built purportedly in 1910. So it is very old. In 1932 is when D.H. Lawrence rented the property, rented the home. It was just the one-story home at that time. But British author and poet D.H. Lawrence wrote the first draft of his book, The Plumed Serpent, actually in this room. Anybody who chooses to come spend a night or a week or a month or more at Hotel Via QQ has full access to the grounds, all of our beautiful gardens, the solar heated pool and hot tub. And we actually get wonderful reviews for how warm and friendly this and accommodating the staff is.